Hey, what's up guys, my name is Charlie. Today we're going to be reacting to some more bonus content, and it's going to be the Angry Video Game Nerd Back to the Future Revisited, with the commentary of course. Oh boy, this should be very interesting, because I'm always interested in the outtakes and the commentary stuff, just to get a view of how they made the episode and what their thoughts were. It's always very fascinating to me. So yeah, let's check out the video, shall we? Let's go.
Hey, this is James,
This is Mike.
and we're going to do a commentary on the Back to the Future Revisited episode.
Now,
Alright.
revisited? What's all that about?
Yeah.
Well, originally we kind of had this idea of going back to some of the old videos and sort of like, completing more of the games, more of the things that we didn't feel like we really finished, or
Yeah.
like, other things that we didn't say about the games that we should have said. So I thought the video would just be called Nintendo Days Revisited, and it is kind of like a parody of the Metallica album Garage Days Revisited. There was a Revisited before, as if they were like revisiting their Garage Days, and then they're revisiting it again. So I felt that the nerd episodes themselves is me revisiting my Nintendo days
From your youth.
from my youth, yeah.
Yeah.
And then revisiting the nerd episodes is revisiting. So that's how I got all that.
Yeah.
Did that make
Wow.
any sense at all?
It did. And in that part you just show where I got my head blown off as Jason Voorhees, that's a big parody of what George Lucas did, because George Lucas has certainly been revisiting his material. They just came out with the Star Wars Blu-ray where they added in all kinds of fucking bullshit. Like they got Ewoks blinking now apparently, and like all kinds of stuff.
Supposedly
People are
Darth
pissed
Vader
off
says
about.
no during the
Yeah, oh yeah,
sequences.
when the Emperor throws him off into the hole, apparently now. I haven't actually seen it.
It's a little early to tell you the truth. Neither one of us has seen it, so we probably shouldn't even be talking about this. But it's funny just because I think he's doing it on purpose just to piss people off now.
Yeah, and apparently I heard that Steven Spielberg actually is like regrets doing like what he did to E.T., and he's gonna actually re-release E.T. again,
Wow.
the movie, with the original effects, like the way it's supposed to be.
Uh-huh.
So, and anyhow,
Yeah. Well, anyway, what we're looking at right now, it's Top Gun.
Top Gun.
So one of the things that we decided to do in this one is do new title cards. Well, it was kind of more your choice, but you want to talk about that?
Yeah, as you saw in that part, James makes fun of the title card where he's got his tongue sticking out. I wanted him to make fun of it because I really cannot stand those early title cards. People have said to me that they like the title cards from the early nerd episodes.
I do as well.
They're
It's
kind of crappy,
nostalgic.
so that kind of makes
Yeah.
them funny.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I know that, like, I can draw a lot better than that. So whenever I see those title cards, I just look at it and I think, oh God, like I could have done a better job. But I didn't know like so many people were gonna be watching the videos back then, so I didn't really bother. It was just like a quick thing I did just kind of for fun. But this episode, it really is going, all about going back and fixing up like what we did before. James is going back and fixing up the Top Gun video and adding in the parts he missed, like with the space shuttle or with the turtles, adding, the part with the Technodrome. And for me, it was all about going back and getting a chance to fix up the title cards and even do some title cards that I didn't get a chance to do, because the 5th episode, Ninja Turtles, is the first one I did a title card for, and I never even got to do a title card for Roger Rabbit, which you see right here on screen. And by the way, I was really happy to be able to do one where I included all those characters, and some of those characters aren't even in the Roger Rabbit movie, but whatever, I just wanted to fit them all in there. Another thing I just wanted to say about the title cards was that after the Rob episode, which was episode 100,
100, yeah.
I kind of felt that like I didn't really want to do the title cards anymore, so I'm probably not going to be doing title cards for it, because I always thought, like, what the heck is the point of me even doing title cards?
I like
Because
them.
It's like we
They're
could just
pretty
show,
nice.
if we needed an image of the game, we could just show the front cover of the game. Like, why does there have to be a drawing? And those drawings take like, sometimes up to a week to do, and they're only on screen for 2 seconds. So really, what's the point of even having them in the videos? I've always felt. So
I like 'em.
after the Rob episode, I was just like, all right, you know what, enough with that. There'll still be nerd episodes, but enough of these title cards. Like, they don't need to be in there.
I didn't even know I'd be doing episodes after 100.
Yeah.
I mean, when
what
this
the
started,
robot.
it was just a thing we were doing for fun, and we didn't really know what was going to happen, so...
Yeah. Like, I mean, there were just things that we just missed about the old games that we didn't really, like, because in the old days when I did these videos, I really didn't do a lot of research. And how did I miss the whole 1-800 number? Like, why did I never try calling that? Finding out that was a sex hotline
Wow.
in a Nintendo game,
Yeah.
you know?
And especially missing this Judge Doom part in the game. That's one of the biggest bullshit things in, like, any Nintendo game, because this guy is so friggin' hard to beat, which James explains here. So that was left out in the original Roger Rabbit video, and we always felt like, oh man, that's got to be in there. And another thing is, when we were shooting the original Roger Rabbit video, you might remember the line where James says, I want to nail Roger Rabbit to the
Yeah,
cross.
I love that
I want to nail
line.
Roger Rabbit to the
That's the
fucking
end.
cross.
I want to nail Roger Rabbit to the fucking cross. Well, that came out of a whole conversation we had about having a Jesus Christ punching bag or something like that.
I don't know what that was about.
Some like
but
long, like funny conversation we had, and we had it on tape, but something happened. Maybe James
Well,
didn't have a wire plugged in or something like
yeah,
that, and
yeah.
then we lost all the footage.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're on the Ninja Turtles now. But anyway, about Roger Rabbit, really quick, just so you know what he's saying, is that we filmed, there was a whole on-screen part with the nerd, like on camera, and basically Mike was there when I was filming, and we were just kind of like improvising, and he was like kind of throwing me different lines to say, like, oh, try something like this or try that, and we were just like cracking up, and like I was just doing different, saying different things that were just completely ridiculous, and then we realized that I forgot to switch the input for the line in for the XLR mic on the camera,
Yeah.
and basically it was set to like the wrong input basically, and we had no audio. So
Oh god,
we
that
basically lost
sucks.
an entire thing of unscripted material that we could never recreate because I don't even remember what I said.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Anyhow,
That
so we're on
sucks.
to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles now, and it was great that we were able to go back and get to the Technodrome and show that whole part, because that was always like, you know, in the original video, you talk about the game up until maybe the 4th level or something, but you don't get to the Technodrome, and then you do the whole rant at the end, but you never mention like the end of the game. So it was great that you got to go back and really review this a little bit better than you had originally. So it makes it a little more complete than it was. So it's really nice to have done that now. So now it's completed, and we never have to go back and look at that again.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd like to see you go back to it.
And what else?
Well, other than like beating Shredder and Krang or whatever happens at the end, I
Right.
guess it's just Shredder, right?
Yeah, it's
But-
Shredder, and like, actually, you're even showing it right here. You're inside the Technodrome, but
then I died.
yeah.
I couldn't beat it.
yeah,
Oh,
it's a
God.
really hard game.
And I didn't like give up either. Like I was really trying to beat it, and that
Well,
was just hard.
even if you had gotten to Shredder, the only thing there really is to say about Shredder is that there's a trick you can do where you stand in the corner and you can beat him. It's kind of like in Zelda 2 where you can stand in the corner with
That
Link
shadow.
and just duck and keep hitting him. There's a trick that's like that with Shredder, so that's pretty
You
much
did that
the
with the
only
power
thing
gloves,
I
Well,
can
though.
good
say.
luck getting up to Shredder.
Yeah, exactly, because there's
Yeah.
like guys in spacesuits on the way, and they're fucking hard to get by.
Well, so then basically Back to the Future here is the main bulk of the video.
LJN, dear God.
Originally, I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I was thinking it was going to be just one video called Nintendo Days Revisited, and it would just be looking back to the old nerd videos and all that, and doing all these games in one episode.
Yeah, shit pickle in the
But
background.
Then
Look
it
at
just
that.
got too long, and it was too much to get done in a month. So it was like I decided to break it up. And so then basically we decided to put
Look at that
Ninja
t-shirt.
Turtles, Roger Rabbit, and Top Gun
My
in
God.
the same video
It's
as the Back to
wrinkled.
the Future one. So it's a little confusing because the video is called Back to the Future Revisited, but it's the other games too. And then the other video is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde Revisited, and that comes next. So we're actually not going to be commentating on that one, but that one speaks for itself pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the titles are a little weird.
Yeah,
It
confusing.
was just really hard to figure out what the title of the damn thing, because it talks about so many different things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, the title probably should have been something like, you know, Roger Rabbit, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
Top Gun, Back to the Future, you
It's
know.
like one of those,
but, like, the title would have been too damn long.
It's
so.
like one
Yeah.
of those, like, Godzilla titles, you know, like King Ghidorah, you know, what was that one? Fuck, it's escaping me right now. But, like, the one that
I know
says,
the one you mean. It's like a
Godzilla,
really long
Morpher King.
title.
it says all these monsters.
Or
There was a
giant
nerd
monster
episode that had a
allowed to
really long
attack.
title. It was The Angry Video Game Nerd is Chronologically Confused About Bad Movie and Video Game Sequel Titles.
Oh, yeah.
So we could have done a sort of play on that and made a really long... Actually, James has an idea for a movie he's always told me about that he wants... That has like a really long title.
Oh, the confounded crazy critters.
I want a
Stop
Polybius
living
movie.
Wait, no,
I want him to
fuck,
make a
I
Polybius
started
movie.
saying the other title. God damn it! It's like we don't rehearse these things. I just fuck up. The confounded
Those
crazy
apples are
critters
love
who
hearts.
devoured neurotic livestock. The confounded crazy critters who devoured
Love
neurotic
hearts.
livestock and couldn't stop dying, so they had to carry their own tombstones over their heads.
Yeah.
That's the title.
So maybe
They're
we could
actually-
have done something like that with the title.
What I almost said there actually is a movie called The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies.
That's a real movie, though.
It is, yeah, that's a real movie. Anyway, what the hell are we talking about? Oh yeah, the videos. Another concern we had was that we didn't want people to think that, you know, we're like running out of ideas.
Mhm.
Like, oh, I've reviewed all these games and now it's like I'm out of ideas, so I'm doing the same ones over again.
Yeah.
So I didn't want this to be broken up into too many separate videos because I felt like eventually people would get, you know, like tired of it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, James, I think he even said that in the video.
I did, yeah.
Like, you have a basement full of games, but, you know, as we said, you know, we just wanted to really go back and complete those ones because we always didn't feel quite satisfied with how the original videos were. Things were left out, that's all. So I'm sure we're not going to go back and redo any other
That is the
ones.
worst
Just
Johnny
some
B.
of
Good
the
music
ones. Like,
ever.
you're probably not going to... Like,
Yeah,
if you
that
miss
is-
something in Metal Gear, I don't think you're going
That
to
is
make a whole
absolutely
video
horrible.
about Metal Gear, you know, just because you might have missed something.
Pretty much the
DuckTales.
cutoff year is like 2007. I think that's when I really started like putting all my effort into these videos because that's when I actually started getting like paid to do them and everything.
Right.
and
Well, in
I
the early
actually
days,
had-
I remember I would come over James's place, and we would just play some of these games. But honestly, like the Top Gun game, like we played that for like 10 minutes or something, and like the Turtles game, we didn't play for that long, I don't think. And some of those games, like we didn't really play them for all that long. Whereas now, we put a lot more effort into it. Like we'll sit there for a day or
Yeah.
or sometimes longer. I remember
Damn.
actually, I gotta say. The most impressive thing, like a lot of times people say that James sucks at games because he always
Yeah,
dies
I
and
heard a
stuff
lot
like
of
that.
people say
You know,
that.
that's not really true.
Yeah.
James has beaten some really hard video games. He's beaten Street Fighter 2010
Oh, God.
and Transformers for the Famicom. But I think that James's biggest accomplishment from what I've seen from witnessing him make the nerd episodes is he did those Zelda CDI games, and
Ugh.
I played them for maybe a minute or two, but James actually went through and beat all 3 of those
Well,
games.
except the
Wow.
third one. The third one I got stuck. But,
Okay.
yeah, but the other
Well,
two.
still though, I just think it's a huge accomplishment
Yeah.
to have beaten
Yeah.
those games.
Those
Because
games
for one
sucked,
thing, the
for one.
controller is just like,
Yeah.
it's like you can't even use that damn controller. So I think that's the craziest accomplishment.
Yeah, but anyway, speaking about this game right here, Back to Future 2 and
Oh,
3
God.
on Nintendo, this one was one that we only played for like 10 minutes. This because basically the original Back to the Future review, it was just like it was meant to just be the first Back to the Future game, and we didn't even know that
Yeah.
there were like sequels.
I
Or
didn't
actually,
either.
No, I did. I actually did remember.
I know the
renting
movie,
this
but I
as
didn't know the
a
game.
child
There was a
one time.
second game.
But basically the point was that we didn't really plan to do the sequels. On top of that, it was kind of like an extra bonus at the end of the video, and I didn't even like bother to like really play this much and figure out how it's played. But once I actually started playing it like for real and figuring out like what you're supposed to do, it is ridiculous. Like it is like one of the most complicated and like unnecessarily complicated and just
Oh, God.
annoying Nintendo games like in the whole catalog.
Actually, tell you the truth, when we did go back and play this again for this video, we still couldn't really figure it out.
We couldn't get too far because it's impossible.
So honestly, like we didn't go through and we didn't beat it or anything, but I don't think we could. Like we just couldn't do it. It's just such a ridiculously complicated, fucked up game.
Like the stuff this game asks you to do is just unreasonable. Like, okay, like you have to, well, I explained it in the video, it speaks for itself, but it's like you gotta return those objects and do those word scramblers and find all those hidden rooms.
Fuck that.
Now, I heard that, is this true or not, that Bob Gale, the creator of Back to the Future, has seen the first Back to the Future video? Like, where did that come from? Is that true or what?
Yeah, actually, well, online, I think in an interview, he actually cited the Back to the Future review, because he agrees himself, like, those games were terrible.
Right? Yeah.
He had nothing to do with it.
So that's why he, I guess, wanted to go back and make his own game, which is what the new Back to the Future games are.
Kinda, yes.
And he's involved in those, right?
In a way, he's sort of revisiting something, yeah. But yeah, like, it was nice to actually see a Back to the Future game with, like, him, you know, being a consultant and you know, the writing and the, you know, doing the whole, like it feels like a fourth movie, unlike these games, which have nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with the
like,
damn movie.
Like LJN, like, didn't even, like, show him the game until, like, they were, like, done with it, and then they didn't want to change anything.
Yeah, like, with the first game, it's just, like, you have a guy going down the road, and it could be any kind of game. It's just a guy going down the road, and he's avoiding, like, benches and stuff. Like, how is that Back to the Future?
Yeah,
like,
it could be anything.
Called Joe Goes Down the Road. It doesn't have to be called Back to the Future. They just slapped the name Back to the Future on it just so kids would buy it.
Yeah.
It's friggin' bullshit.
It is. and like, it's so funny with the first game not even having the music, but, like, people have said that the music you hear in the first game is actually, like, Power of Love, but it's sped up really fast. I don't hear it, like, whatsoever, but I've heard different, like, interpretations. Some people have like, actually somebody sent me a really funny collage they did of, like, the music from the real Power of Love song and from the music in the game, and they combined it together and they actually made it fit. And it was so funny. Like, I think they slowed down the song in the game or something, but they, like, it still sounds nothing like it, but they at least made it seem like it was, like, you know, like they combined the two songs. It was really funny.
That LJN logo.
First,
Fuck
the
me.
LJN rainbow. That part. For a second, it showed a clip of the controller, and it had a sticker on the controller. I know sometimes people ask, like, about that sticker. What is that sticker on the controller from that you always use?
Oh, that, like, blue one?
It's got, like, I think it's, like, pink, actually.
Oh, the pink one. There's like a blue one with, like, a face, and then there's a pink one. They were both from Nintendo Power. Like, they had one of those pages that was all, like,
stickers, yeah.
Yeah, and not only did they have those, but they had a Game Boy one where you put it on the face of your Game Boy, like, basically on the, you know, on the outside of the screen.
Wasn't there also that Star Fox thing?
That was different. Yeah, there was an issue that had a Star Fox thing.
Look at that photo.
Where, like, you can make a Star Fox plane out of, like, you know, it's like cardboard. And
you did that for the Nintendo Power thing, right? Didn't you actually cut it out and make it or something?
I honestly don't even remember. But anyway, this is Back to Future 3. This game is just, like,
ridiculously hard. I remember this.
Like, basically, like, what we're talking about is that, like, Mike helps a lot on when we're playing these games. Like, we actually, like, play them together a lot of times.
Oh, that's nice.
And, like, you know, Mike will help me come up with ideas or, like, help me try to beat some of these.
Right. If you've seen the making of episode, you probably know that.
Yeah. And this one, I actually could not beat the first level. Like, no joke. So I gave it to Mike and said, here.
I couldn't do it either.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was
you know that's hard.
Give this a try. And, like, he couldn't do it. So
actually, didn't you have some friends over one time and they were playing it and couldn't do it either?
I let about 5 people play this game and try to beat this first level, and
nobody can do it.
It's the same story with everybody. Everybody who tries this level,
it's just
like,
the
just
objects
doomed.
come up too fucking quick, and, like, you can't see, like a bird will come. You try to duck, and then it's just it's fucking terrible.
And everybody who tried it reacted the same exact way. They would get really frustrated, and then you can't even get them to turn the game off because everybody is like, I'm gonna fucking beat this. Like,
yeah, that would be me.
Everybody takes it personal with this game.
It is personal. You want to beat it.
Yeah.
You know what really bothers me when I watch this is how low my head is in the frame. Like, there's so much space above my head. Like, little things like that nobody else thinks about just bother the fuck out of me when I watch these things. It's hard when you're shooting by yourself because it's usually just me. I set up the camera,
Pillow.
and yeah, I got my little LCD screen. Sometimes I actually plug it into that TV that you're seeing there, so I can actually see myself on the TV, so I
Oh,
can
that's
make
pretty
sure that
smart.
the frame is exactly how I want it.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Oh yeah, then there's this game, the Famicom one, which
Oh,
I
yeah, I
never
remember
knew
this.
about till recently.
How did you find out about that?
It was a
Mm.
donation.
Oh,
Oh
somebody
wow,
donated, okay.
someone donated it.
Uh,
Hmm.
so basically, yeah, it's just amazing that there actually
Yeah.
existed a pretty.
I heard it was better.
A decent Back to the Future game.
Yeah.
Then, but why would that be the one that never came out?
Yeah.
In, North America.
Because we got stuck with the shitty.
Yeah,
versions.
corporate
To
greed.
be clear, I don't
Ugh.
know if it came out anywhere else other than Japan, but
Yeah, I mean it might have come out in like United Kingdom or something. Like who knows?
maybe.
We wouldn't know because we didn't grow up
Yeah.
there.
Mm.
But I know it didn't come out in the United States. I know that.
Yeah,
Mm.
which is a shame. Look at this. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks awesome.
It looks great. It's like an arcade.
Scroller. It's nothing special,
Mm.
but it looks like Back to the Future. It actually follows the scenes in the second
Yeah,
movie.
look at that.
I wonder
And,
if
like,
Michael
it's
Jackson
Beautiful.
ever played this game.
Yeah. It's actual shit in a Nintendo game.
I always
Yeah.
thought that, like with
Super
games like
Nintendo.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out, like did Mike Tyson ever play like the Mike
His own
Tyson
game,
game?
yeah, I
did,
know.
did Michael J. Fox ever play like the Back to the Future game? Like
Probably
back
not.
in the day, from the Nintendo game. You know, I always wondered that with those type of games. Did Michael Keaton ever play the Batman game? Probably not.
I
Fuck
bet
no.
they did. Probably, like, sometimes it happens.
Right.
Sometimes
Who
I
knows?
think, like, they'll do it as, like, a Nintendo Power, like, publicity stunt or something.
Right.
So,
Actually, in the first issue of Nintendo Power, I think like there's a part where there's like an interview with like Pee Wee Herman or something like that, and then they have like interviews with like different people who were in games. Actually, Pee Wee Herman wasn't in a game. I don't know what I'm talking about. What happened to?
I wonder if there is a Pee Wee
one
Herman
time you
game.
you had a funny story.
you know what, actually, I think this video is about to end
Oh, is
really
it?
soon, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
So I don't know if I have time for that, but what
Wow.
else about this video? Anything you want
Rejected.
to say before it ends?
Yeah. I know that at the end it shows a title card and it has
There you go.
Dr. Jekyll's face on it with a question mark. We kind of explained what that was all about. Is we were gonna include Dr. Jekyll
Oh god.
and Mr. Hyde like in this video, but then decided there was too much to say about it.
Yeah.
So that's why that's like that.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, I would suggest out of the whole year of 2010, I think the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde video was my favorite. So I say
Oh, God.
just watch that one. No commentary needed. Just watch the Jekyll and Hyde video. That's my favorite one.
That's definitely a good video.
Of all of them, that would be my favorite.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, that's it. You're just staring at a black screen right now.
Yep. Wow, he knows he's from the future. Whew. Yeah, I gotta say, we watched the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde revisited video, and that thing was just scary. You know, that game, I don't think he ever completed it. I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember if he ever completed it. I still don't think he completed it, but I remember there was a statue of a boy taking a piss and birds taking shit. And yeah, I mean, it was insane. I mean, the only thing he could kill was a bee with his little cane. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. But I remember the episode and it was absolutely hilarious. I really am glad he revisited Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You know, it's a good thing he came back to that episode to revisit it. But yeah, this was good. This gave me an insight into, you know, the creative minds of James and Mike. I didn't know Mike sort of helped James play the video games and stuff like that. You know, that's very interesting. But also the creative cards and all that. I kind of like it. I liked all those little you know, colored in cards at the beginning of the video. I don't know why, but it just brings you back to a sort of older period from the Angry Video Game Nerd episodes, because he doesn't really do that anymore. You know, I mean, when you see the older, I think nearly stopped at about episode 100, Rob the Robot. I think at nearly Rob the Robot episode 100, it then started to stop. But that's a shame, because I like it. I like that sort of artwork. It reminds me of the history of Angry Video Game Nerd episodes, you know, from 1 to 100, so to speak. Yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give a like, comment down below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.